Right. So welcome everybody to live meditation with Jeremy McMahan. That's me. So if you enjoy the content and like what I'm doing here, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Either order, doesn't matter. Also just to let you know, if you are interested in deepening your practice, feel free to reach out to me. I am available for private online sessions. I generally charge about $50 a class. The class lasts about an hour, though that is a sliding scale. Or rather, it's negotiable. So if that's too much money, feel free to just reach out to me, make me an offer. I do accept other forms of payments, such as baked goods. My friend Kim baked some blackberry coffee cake, sourdough blackberry coffee cake, which was delicious. And I happily accepted that as a form of payment. So again, open negotiation. Feel free to reach out. If you'd like to get some one-on-one attention, I try to basically want to be like your meditation personal trainer. So, I will try to keep you on track, check in about your daily practice and really, help encourage and support you on your meditation journey. So I'm here for you, basically. So today what I wanted to talk about, because I felt like I'd been talking a lot about traditional Buddhist ideas and concepts, which is all fine and dandy. It's all stuff I love. I do consider myself a Buddhist. I've studied a lot of Buddhism over the years. I've studied Buddhism probably intensely for well over a decade now. So it's hard for me to not talk about Buddhism when I'm talking about meditation, but I really don't want this to be, specifically, meditation just for Buddhists. Definitely don't want it to be that. It's just, where I'm coming from, basically. That's my reference point when it comes to talking about this thing, so I end up referencing it a lot. But today I wanted to spend a little time just discussing the scientific, more Western scientific based research that discusses the benefits of meditation, what they say the benefits of meditation are. So I have a little list that I'll just kind of go down and sort of comment on. So number one is meditation reduces stress. Have you ever heard of that before, that meditation reduces stress? It's probably like the number one, selling fact about meditation is, it will reduce stress. Which it does. It will over time, I'd say. It does decrease stress in the moment, but when you practice daily, those moments, that de-stress kind of feeling, sort of bleeds out more into your everyday moments. And what's cool about the stress reduction is, it's not only are you kind of deactivating your sympathetic mode, your fight or flight, you're going into parasympathetic. I think that's the right one, where you're kind of calming, you're not in fight or flight. And a lot of us kind of wander through life in fight or flight mode, and that's really what kind of causes our constant anxiety. So not only does meditation reduce your stress by helping you shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic, from fight or flight to getting out of fight or flight mode, but it also seems to actually change the density of certain areas in your brain that deal with anxiety and worrying. Reduces the density of brain tissue associated with anxiety and worrying. So, not only is it affecting you immediately, physiologically, reducing your heart rate, reducing your breathing, reducing putting out stress hormones. Over time, it actually changes the shape of your brain, which is pretty cool. And meditation increases your sense of well-being. Well, yeah, another top selling point of meditation, right? It increases your psychological functioning and in the process improves your sense of well-being. Yeah, I'd agree with that. You're able to think more clearly, you're able to concentrate more, and all those things making you feel more productive, making you more productive certainly will increase your sense of well-being. Meditation increases your sense of connectedness and empathy. So it enhances brain areas associated with mental processing and empathy. And yeah, it sort of like reduces this sort of constant me state. It kind of releases the grip that the ego has on us, and so we're not so focused on ourselves, and we can actually pay more attention to other people. And I honestly think, when we're feeling good, we don't really focus on ourselves, right? We're kind of focusing on either what we're doing or the people that we're with. We're in the moment. So it makes sense that it would enhance that brain and mental, enhance the brain areas associated with mental processing and empathy. Meditation improves focus, and that's specifically what the type of meditation that we are doing here is, a concentration meditation. We're putting our attention either on different parts of the body or or on the breath, and we're trying to keep it there as long as we can. Meditation improves relationships. I'm sure it does. It improves your ability to empathize, and it hones your ability to pick up on cues indicating how others are feeling. Yeah, I do agree with that. It's definitely made me more aware of sort of like reading people and reading their body language more, and not just focusing on like the exact literal thing that they're saying, but how they're saying it. So I'd actually totally agree with that one. Meditation, it makes you more creative. Yeah, definitely. It just makes you connect things that you wouldn't normally connect, and that's sort of like the definition of, or a definition of creativity, I feel, or one of the big challenges of creativity is, taking these two disparate things that that people don't normally associate as working together and showing how they can work together. And I believe meditation does that. David Lynch, the film director, he's a hero of mine, I would say, particularly because he's one of the Western, but even when I think of Eastern artists, I'm not even sure. He's one of the only artists that I know that's really, I feel, has incorporated his meditation practice so thoroughly into his film and artwork. And a lot of the times when people talk about his films being like dream logic, I feel like it's more like meditation logic, actually. Again, connecting these things that normally we don't associate as being together, but we can show that they do work together. Cool. Meditation improves memory. Yeah, again, it improves your concentration, and so if you can concentrate while you're trying to memorize, if you can concentrate better while you're trying to memorize something, yeah, certainly it would improve your memory. Meditation helps people overcome addictions, and again, totally makes sense to me. What we're doing here is we're kind of understanding how our mind reacts to things, and how certain feelings and emotions and thoughts can trigger certain behavior. So, if you're an addict and you have these certain things that trigger you, that kind of propel you into your habit, you can become more aware of the things that are actually the mechanics of what's actually kind of causing you to seek out that solution. So tons of meditation has been incorporated when treating addicts and things like that too. Totally makes sense. Meditation improves your cardiovascular health and reduces your risk of heart disease. I can see that because being under constant stress is bad for the heart. Being constantly in this fight or flight mode is bad. It's bad for your body. Your body produces cortisol, that stress hormone, and cortisol is good in limited quantities. But if your body's constantly pumping out cortisol or constantly pumping out causing inflammation, because inflammation is also a bodily defense against, it's our immune system's defense against things. But our immune system kind of gets hyperactive, and inflammation, cortisol, and things like these run rampant, and they end up causing a lot of damage to our body. So by reducing your stress, which causes these hormones to be put out by meditating, you have the opportunity to prevent the damage that the overabundance of these chemicals, of these hormones and immune responses do to the body. And I know for guys in particular, there's this whole, they say it's like a pandemic of low testosterone in men. And one thing that really kills testosterone is stress. So meditating increases your testosterone. So it's a selling point to the men out there. I don't know. I just think it's funny being in the meditation scene and circle. It's like, it's definitely a lot of women. Most of my meditation teachers, by far the majority of them, have been women. And it's just funny, that it's really good for testosterone too. So I don't know, I think there needs to be like kind of a manly marketing campaign for meditation to discuss the testosterone. And then the last thing I'll mention too is meditation enhances the immune system. And I'm going to actually see what it says here, because I'm not entirely sure of what the research, what backs it. Oh, it doesn't say. It gives the sources. But it says strengthens the human immune system and makes you more resistant to virus and infections. And I just want to personally say that I feel like this is true. And that I've noticed that when I've been meditating, that my immune system is a lot better. I've actually sat down. I've had like a kind of a scratchy throat before, and I've sat down and meditated, and by the time I'm done meditating, my kind of scratchy throat is gone. So I totally believe that. And I mean, I think it makes sense too, again, with the stress reduction. Stress is chronic. Stress is bad for the immune system. So again, if you're reducing your stress, you're improving your immune system. Being in parasympathetic mode, where your body is healing itself, rather than fight or flight mode, where it's sort of like go, go, go all the time. So yeah, I would totally say that meditation improves your immune system. Again, for me, I feel like it certainly has. So that's just some scientific based research for how Buddhism helps you. And for me, I'm not a scientist, and that I haven't spent time researching, or certainly haven't spent time at a lab researching this stuff. But all of those claims, just based off of my own experience, seem to make sense to me. So next time you feel like you're coming down with something, maybe just try meditating a bit. See what happens. Cool. Speaking of meditation, why don't we go ahead and meditate? So we'll do our typical thing. We'll start off with a body scan, and then we'll take a quick little break, and then we'll do 2 rounds of breath meditation. So take a comfortable seat. Make sure if you're sitting in a chair, that your feet are planted firmly on the ground. You can meditate with your eyes open or closed, whatever works for you. And I would just make sure to keep your back straight, but not rigid. So let's do it. Now we're going to move our awareness to our feet. Just noticing how our feet feel right now in this moment. Maybe they feel warm, maybe they feel cold. However your feet feel, just become aware of them right now. And notice how they feel in this moment. Now we're going to move our attention up to our seat. Where our body comes in contact with the floor or the chair. Become aware of the support. Notice the support as it holds you up for your practice. Now we're going to move our attention up to our belly, feeling its movements as it follows the breath. Now we'll move our attention up to our heart, to that space in the middle of our chest. Just become aware of this part of your body and notice how it feels in this moment. Now we're going to move our awareness up to our shoulders. Just feeling this part of our body. Noticing how our shoulders are doing. Now we're going to move our attention to the back of the head. Feeling this part of our body. Don't often think about. Alright, now we're going to move our attention back down to our feet. Noticing how they feel right now. Now we're going to move our attention up to our seat, noticing the support. Now we'll move our attention up to our belly, feeling its movements as it follows the breath. Now we'll move our attention up to our heart, feeling that space in the center of our chest. Now we're going to move our awareness up to our shoulders, noticing this part of our body. Now we'll move our attention to the back of the head. Now we'll move our attention back down to our feet. Now we'll move our attention up to our seat. Now we'll move our attention up to our belly. Now we'll move our attention up to our heart. Now we'll move our attention to the back of the shoulders. Now we'll move our attention to the back of the head. Alright, in just a moment I will ring the bell, ending our first round of meditation. Okay, so let's just take a quick break. Again, if you think of any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll answer them at the end of the session if there's any questions there. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and do another round. So this time we're going to focus on our breath. Again, wherever the breath feels strongest for you in your body. And the whole idea here is that we're supposed to just watch the breath. We're not changing the breath. We're not trying to control our breathing in any particular way. We're just going to notice the breath. And once you notice that you're no longer noticing the breath, once you notice that you've been distracted, you bring your attention back to the breath again and again and again. Every time you're distracted, just bring the breath right back without judgment. Don't beat yourself up about it, because I promise you, you're going to get distracted. So, alright, here we go. Be about 4 minutes this round. Now we're going to move our attention to the part of the body wherever we feel the breath the strongest. For some it's in your belly, for others it's their chest, some it's the tip of their nose. Wherever this place is for you, place your attention there. And just begin to follow the breath. Don't have to change anything about your breathing. Just watch it. And if you get distracted, notice you're no longer focusing on your breath. It's truly okay. Just recognize that you've been distracted. Gently bring your attention back to the breath. And if a thought from the past or a plan for the future comes and takes you away, it's truly okay. Just notice that you've been distracted and gently bring your attention back to the breath. Notice that you've been distracted. You're no longer watching your breath. Just recognize that and bring your attention back to the breath. Alright, in a moment I will ring the bell, ending our second round of meditation. Okay. And it's about the time when my legs start to fall asleep. Okay, here we go. Alright, so one more round. This time be about 4 minutes again, and you will be on your own, so no guidance this time. So yeah, see you on the other side. And again, just remember, if you notice that you are distracted and you're no longer focusing on your breath, just bring your attention back to the breath. Okay? Just back to the breath, back to the breath, back to the breath. Here we go. Alright, in a moment I will ring the bell, ending our third round of meditation. Once you hear the bell, I invite you to join me in a bow, dedicating all the merit we've accrued today to the benefit of all sentient beings. Alright, thank you, sincerely thank you for practicing with me today. Again, if you like what I'm doing here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also available for private sessions, so feel free to reach out, and we can work out a deal. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and go throughout your day with a little more peace and grounding now. Take care.